Okay, and we're live. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to TFC Live, Season 3, Episode 33. This is the August PvP raid brief and weekly updates. Good evening. Welcome, Robin. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, fine. No problem. Ren, hello, mate. How are you? And happy birthday.
I like chocolate cookies.
Chocolate cookies, here we go. Right, okay. I think we want to dig straight into it.
You can see I'm getting more mature with age, right?
Evidently, just like a good fine wine, yeah. Let's have a little look at what we have for tonight. So I'll just do a quick share. Excellent. Right, so title screen as per normal, just in case we want to check the video for later. There's a content. Doesn't look like a lot, and to be honest, actually, it's not a lot. But we'll pick up the pertinent points as ever. Right, first of all, there we go. Happy birthday to Ren. I have no idea why I picked a little out. It just, for some reason, just reminded me of you. So Ren's birthday was yesterday, everybody, just so you're aware. So happy birthday, another 21st. Hope you had a good day, mate.
Yeah, cannot complain. I had cake. I had beer.
Cake
Not
and
at the
beer.
same time, but cake and beer. Tiramisu cake. Do you like tiramisu cake? My family love tiramisu cake, so they got me a tiramisu cake.
Robin, do you want to cover you like the app, don't you? Do you want to cover the app?
Yeah, no, they ran an update, and I think it's 4.22, I think was the one that popped up on my phone for the Battle Pirates HQ. Blitz is now being enabled, and Blitz targets are going to be available in the locator. Obviously, there's no FM targets for this week, but it will allow you to go out and hit those if they're available. So you should be able to use those to Blitz now on the raid, whereas in the past we haven't been able to.
Yeah, all's good. I quite like it. The option that was asked for last month was blitzing raid targets, so people can blitz a couple whilst they're at work and that sort of stuff, and then just put things to fix, you know. So it's another option. It's nice they've actually added it in already, so I like that. That's good. Right, okie dokie. Like I said, FM, obviously, it's over, done, so don't worry about that bit till after the raid. TFC's coming out, obviously, tomorrow. This is for the low levels, as it says there. Starts basically at 1 p.m. On the 16th, and then goes right through until the 20th. And this is basically to go and get yourself the Skyfire. Brilliant little hull, very, very versatile. A stack of tokens are available for sale. If you log in at the moment, you'll notice that all of a sudden they're trying to sell you everything again, including Skyfire tokens. But if you haven't got this one already, you must be a very, very low level. I'm not sure what ships you have to go in and do it with. But yeah, you get the blueprint, you know, you get build tokens, loads of them, to be honest, VXP tokens, and then you get the right UAV specials and etc. that sort of stuff. But I don't see any prerequisites for this one. Did you notice anything, Robin?
No, but the good thing with this one, for those of you, and there are a lot out there that are using the Skyfires on the lower targets, do this first, get the tokens, and then if you are missing things like charged armor and stuff like that, there's what, 20, 21, 22, there is a heap amount of tokens in there, so run this one, yeah, with your icebreakers and switch your armors over if you've got the good stuff, and then run them with those. Okay,
Snoopy on the chat there saying it said use icebreakers, so.
Yep.
Oh, it says at the top, in fact, here, break out of those icebreakers. There you go. It actually says it in the wording. I'm going to TSM read the RFQ.
Go home, you're drunk.
Yeah, so icebreakers. All right then. So I suppose those people that have been away for a while, this is quite nice because most of these people that are away for 2 to 3 months, that sort of stuff, a lot of people got given a set of icebreakers. So, you know, if you're going to break them out, then break them out. So have a little look. And normally what icebreakers can do, most people can actually do with a couple of zealouses and a couple of, you know, mort chuckers as well. So I'm not saying that's a definite, but there's a potential you could as well. So if it's icebreakers, it's going to be garrison, put it that way. So have a look at it, see what happens. And yeah, as Robin said, if you haven't got your charge armors on there, then it's a good time to do it for nothing. Right, good little TLC. Not a must do, but it's there. Anyway, the main brief then, Conqueror's Wrath. Do you want it, Robin, or do you want me to? Don't mind.
No, I'm easy.
Go on then.
All right, Conqueror's Wrath starts on Thursday, featuring tons of community-requested PvP content to catch up on. And that also includes the new Witch Doctor PvP hull and our very first community event contest. So this one starts 9 a.m. I'm assuming it didn't specifically say this, but I'm assuming it's as per normal, where it goes by world and things are disabled. Those weren't included in the notes, but I haven't heard anything different. It ends on the 20th. Again, these are assault targets. You want to use your Manticores and your Skyfires for the lower ones. All sets are available, including Blitz targets. And this time, and this is a huge deal, the store is completely unlocked. There is no lock. Yes, there is no locked store on this one. So if in the past you've not been able to get stuff, the gate is open. I would take advantage of it if you can get the points, because we're not sure what's going to be happening with the next one.
Well, I assume it won't be, because there's another hole coming next time, and it's what's needed for the following one. So I got a funny feeling it will be locked. But yeah, the fact is, let's just rejoice that you can actually go and pick anything you want, which is just as well good. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah,
and just a thank you to everybody that did provide that input for the poll that we put on the page. That was sent across to Kix along with a couple of other ones. So thanks for putting your 2 cents in on that.
Yeah, and just to confirm, look, nothing brand new on the PvE side, which was promised, which is nice. So it gives you plenty of time in that shipyard to crack on and catch up on things like Greta builds, finishing off some Manticore stuff if you want to, because there are loads of tokens here, so you can keep that shipyard empty at the moment, you know, or working away on your FM fleet. So this is all the other side of offshore content, you know, to be honest. So yeah, good news as far as I'm concerned. This is new. So yeah, it says this time around we've got a community contest basically, and the idea of this one is they did a straw poll of basically how many people took part last time, and what they're saying is basically if an average the average player then can get the 100k, and then everyone's going to get basically a generic one-day build token, a freebie, sort of. So obviously we've got to raid first. So, but you know, not too bad. There are some prerequisites. Obviously, the term active players is defined by the amount of players that participated in the previous month on average. Okay, and all you got to do is just log in and hit a target. Once you're in, you're in. That's it. So even those that don't have time to do it, yeah, you know, for the whole weekend, at least it's worth logging on and just hitting something. To be honest, which would be nice. Whether you participated last month or not, it's not having any effect at this time at all. So if you missed last month for some reason, you can still claim that token. So it's not a consecutive thing as well. You can earn your own points as well. And as obviously some of the bigger players will, your additional points that you gain over and above that 100k, obviously that helps towards somebody else getting the correct amount of points. And the outcome, as it says, for those the community the contest, will be announced at the end of the event. And then obviously that's that free one-day build token, generic, which is nice, should be issued within 24 to 72 hours. So quite a nice little giveaway in some respects, but not necessarily a giveaway, because obviously everyone's got to go out and raid first. So the potential of a freebie, we quite like that. Any thoughts, guys?
I like it. I think it's a nice idea. I hope that people take advantage of it, and even if they don't normally raid, log in and hit a couple of little targets, because one-day token's a one-day token, and there's no restrictions on it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. It's generic for a change. It's not saying it's assault. It's not saying it's, you know, something else. Conqueror. It's for whatever you fancy doing. So we like that one. Yeah, make sure you got the space for it. As Nick said, yes, you will need the space for it. So if you've got tokens saved up,
good point. You need to have
be cautious.
Token. We don't know if what happens, and probably don't get the token if you're full of one-day tokens, and you can only hold 2.
2, yeah. They can say 2 is the limit. So be careful. 24 to 72 hours afterwards. So I don't really know. 72 hours. That's sort of like around at the start of the FM, isn't it? So
by Friday. No, I mean, raid's over Monday. So let's say worst case by Thursday, you get it, right?
Yeah, if it gets it on Thursday, though, and the FM's already started and you've banked your single, you got to be a bit careful what you're doing. Play cautious is what I can say. Right, targets, Robin, if you want.
Yep, 2 new targets again for Tier 8. We've got the 108 and the 110. Both of these, for killing them individually, are worth 2.5 million points. They both are part of the set bonus. The Tier 8 set completion bonus for those 2 targets only is 5 million points. There was some confusion on the page earlier. It's only the current targets that give you the set bonus. It's not last month's targets. For these, they're doing loot boxes. You have an equal chance for one of the following: Missile Defense System 3, so on and so forth. Not really thrilled with this. I kind of hate the lotto, and if I want to go play casino, I'll go do that down the road. I would have preferred to have it kind of like it was last time, where it was set shards. What do you guys think?
Stinks.
Me no liking.
No, I hate random drops. I you know, and as Ren said before we sort of like started this, you know, he particularly wants Missile Defense System 3, and he's going to have to drop down to guarantee to get it to go to the obviously the tier 8 104, because and then he won't be getting his bonus. You know, it's a bit pump as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're getting a shard, I suppose. You know, it's encouragement to go and hit the, you know, the tier 8 stuff. But you know, once you've got enough of those blooming, you know, reinforced chromium armor shards, you know, you got to set. What more do you want? You know, it's just meh.
Yeah, I do. I guess at the very minimum, we'll say I do like the fact that the Missile Defense System 3, there is a specific target. So if that's all you're really trying to focus on, because we all know that you're going to get things that you don't want in the others, that you can go out and kill those other ones for it. But yeah, not liking the lotto.
I don't know anybody that's liked anything in the game that's been a random drop, to be honest. Even the FM tokens at the end in the last tier. But however, we're still getting the stuff. But I'd like them to revisit that, please. That'd be really, really nice. Okay.
Just to reinforce, the 108, 110 are brand new targets. We have never seen them before. They will likely be harder somehow, and they pay the bonus. You know. Just because people in chat were still asking, so I'm just reinforcing.
Yeah, they were different. Yep. So how different, we'll soon find out. I am definitely going to do a 1 hour. I'm in Alpha World, so I'll log on straight away and I'll go and look at the targets, that sort of stuff, and I'll do a stream for an hour probably, to be honest. Look at all the different stuff again. I've still got the Apollos and I've still got the Skyfires and blah and that sort of stuff. So I'll go from the bottom to the top again of all the different targets, or from the top to the bottom. Which way I do, I'm not sure, but I'll do the first hour because I know that was really a real good thing. That's obviously that Price used to do, and unfortunately that doesn't happen anymore for many people. So I'm sort of trying to pick up on that for him, make it something decent for the community. Anyway, yeah,
cool. Okay, tier 7, of course, 3 targets again this month. They do apply towards the set bonus. The set bonus for this one is still the 1.5 million. And we've got tier 6, which is the 3 targets and the 450,000 points bonus. Now, the hit down penalty still applies for tier 6 on upwards. So if you are, you know, level 105, what have you, you're not going to get the full amount of points. There is no hit down, I don't think, on the tier 5 targets. So that's a flat 30k per target, and then 20,000 points for the completion bonus.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, for higher level players who have Manticores, but still have Skyfires laying around doing nothing. I was still sending mine on auto on the 60s, just for extra points, right? While I was driving on the elite targets with the Manticores, just had sometimes through the app you can send the Skyfires out, or the Phoenixes even, to just hit those targets and score some points.
Yeah, Hef was just putting up a point there. It'd be nice if the tier 6s or 7s, you know, had some sort of shard as well available, you know, even if it's a random drop shard, but MDS2 or MDS1 for the lower ones or something like that, you know, it would be a little bonus, you know, because a lot of people can't hit the top, you know, and it's you know, it just widens that gap, doesn't it? And at least they've got some version that would be quite nice, but it doesn't have to be the MDS3, but you know, a lower version would be quite nice.
Yep.
Anyway, right, okay, next one.
And of course, we've got Blitz targets. As mentioned earlier, we've got the 89, which is the standard 800k, and then we've got the tier 6 69 as well. And those are around the regular Drac bases. Of course, normal Blitz cost in there. Blitz targets in the Conqueror's Wrath contain a max Blitz amount. No matter what repairs you take, the Blitz cost will not go over the max. This still requires at least achieving victory in 1 hit. I guess there was some confusion about that. And then, as mentioned earlier, the standard hit down applies, except for the level 40s targets.
That's the Liam 99 target, the tier 7 89, all right? That's what I call it. It's like, oh my god, what's going on this month? Oh yeah, there's a raid on. Right, okay, 10 minutes finished.
Yeah,
yeah. $1 grand later.
There are a lot of people that take advantage of it, and yeah, more power to them. Their raids done in half hour,
Did
45
you just say
minutes.
there's a lot of people who are taking advantage of in these targets?
I don't know. Actually, to be honest, he did say last time he did really well. He used the app the whole time, and I saw on our page a couple of people are going to actually test the app and see if they can do the whole of their raid via the app only. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I did do mine when the Buckies were out using the app, but those obviously worked a lot better on auto than the ships that we have now.
And my brother's not on the moment, but he did last month's raid on the app itself and nothing but, and he managed to go no problem at all.
Nice.
So because he works, 12-hour days and that sort of stuff, or nights, should I say? But yeah, so yeah, he managed to do the whole thing on the app while he was at his work desk. Not telling his boss that, but right, go on then. This is a monster, isn't it?
Yes, new prizes. We have these are all PvP. These are not PvE. So there were no new PvE prizes. We've got a lot of limited prizes that are in here as well as a couple that are not. I think I figured it out that it was 215 million points for all of the new stuff that's up there. Of course, we got the Witch Doctor, which is at a very reasonable 5 million points. I kind of like that low cost. You can get 3 of them, and remember, these are not locked. So if you are a lower level, you can go ahead and claim these. And then we've got turrets, which are a wee bit more expensive. They're at 15 million a pop. We've got new Scattergun 2, new Death Size, and then the new Adder turret. Those are at 15 million. And then we've got a new Hex Scattergun and a new Corrosive Canisters 2 special.
And just to be clear, when you say the Witch Doctor is not expensive at 5 million points, that's for one hull. This is a limited blueprint, so when you spend 5 million points, you can only build one Witch Doctor. If you want to build all 3 on the number of claims, that's the maximum you can get. So if you want all 3, then you have to spend 15 million points on it.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And if you want like all 8, I mean, you can get up to 12 corrosive turrets, but the group bonus maxes out at 8. So if you want to get all 8 turrets that you need to max up the damage, that is 120 million points.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, what turrets you go and collect, and if you wanted 4 of one and 2 of another, but next time because you change your base you want to flip it around, that's why they give you the option to have more than the 8. It's because base designs are not all the same, obviously. So people some want long range, some want short range, some want the mid-range stuff. So the different turrets do different things. So
yeah, the ability of getting 12 will probably interest about 1,000 players who are in the top of the leaderboards globally, but everyone else will struggle to get a few of those turrets, right? Just trying to make it clear that what people actually need to max up the bonus is 8, not 12. 8.
Yeah, we'll look on the prints because it actually reminds you of that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now, Ren, would you, and I want to butt in here for a second, would you mind expanding? You had put an interesting post up on the fire support in these.
Oh, I've got a slide for that.
Oh, do you? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I've added a slide in, Robin. Don't worry.
He does, so I can talk about it. If I do, he'll bomb my house.
When we get to that slide, you can take over then, Ren, all right, mate? Right, so yeah, the Witch Doctor, here it is. Here's the blueprint. So I like the little icon that Robin found. It's great. Quite amusing. So here we go. Yeah, Scourge Conqueror, not a subsurface one, okay, even though it looks a little bit like, a glut, but it isn't. Things to consider, okay, and obviously the defense stats already. It's got great corrosive deflection. It's fantastic, no problem at all. But it doesn't have much else, so you've got to be very careful how you build this, because obviously using Ren's calculator that he used on his previous one of his videos, you already need an awful lot of penetrative and also an awful lot of ballistic defense as well. So be careful where you or how you build this ship. You can't just go slapping loads of corrosive items on it and think it's going to go and survive in some people's bases, because it certainly won't.
Yeah. I mean, not many people will be maxed up on corrosive turrets after this raid. Some will, right? A few hundred, maybe a couple thousand will get all of the 8 turrets. But then there are only 2 holes in the game, 2 conquerors that will be able to take fire from those turrets without blinking an eye, and that's the Witch Doctor or the Ifrit. Because the launchers on the Ifrit gives it a ton of corrosive resistance.
Yeah, Ifrits may come back into their own at the moment. So, but there are other things that are concerning as well with the new turrets, which we'll get to in a minute. But thermal imaging range is the same as ever. It's got a reasonable, quite a nice base combat speed and turn speed. I quite like that. Pass through is pretty standard. Everything else is pretty normal for everyday one. So this is another, as always the same as ever with this Tier 7 series. Whatever it delivers. Then that's what obviously it's defensive as well. So the missile cruiser obviously had penetrative attacking capabilities and penetrative defense capabilities. So this is just following the same genre, to be honest. Yeah. What else we got then? This is its weapon. So the Hex Scattergun. Yeah. So you're getting pen deflection on this one. So that's nice and handy.
Ooh, wait a minute. The range on that is 89. And what was the range on the hull?
Yeah, you get a little boost,
20,
don't you?
23.6
Yeah.
additional?
Yeah, there is. So there you go. So Scattergun range is already 23.6, which is a percent as well, look. So it's a percentage of the...
Get to 110 range, pretty much.
Should bring them all roughly in line, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
so I don't think
109 point whatever.
Yeah, which is quite decent. And there's actually another little old Conqueror hole. If you're interested, if you only manage to get the weapon, there is another old Conqueror hole that actually is for scatters as well. That has a range boost on it as well. So
the Pride,
an old Defender, sorry,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it's a Valiant or something
Valiant,
like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's got a bit of a range boost on it as well. I think you can get up quite a reasonable range. I think it's something like 40% or something strange. So maybe not that much, but yeah. There is a little boost you can add to it anyway.
Yeah, it has the over damage. It has a huge spread and a low spread splash.
So yeah, it's a bit of a monster. This thing, it's really going to help you out, obviously, because the hull itself has got no penetrative deflection whatsoever. Whereas obviously each one of these you add, it's going to assist you, and then the plates you put on as well. So just remember, what was the figure, Ren? Wasn't it 2.3 million or something like that? Penetrative, roughly, I think, was the required amount.
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm just going back to your chart, which I seem to use an awful lot at the moment. So, yeah,
I'm glad someone does.
I do, mate, a lot. So does my alliance. We rely on that quite a bit. So it's a very handy chart. Even put it in one of my videos for you. But yeah, so the penetrative deflection, I think it's just over 2 million anyway. So even if you were to put 4 of these on there, that's nowhere near enough. So you do.
And by the way, the folks on chat just said that the Valiant has a 20% bonus to Scattergun range, so
already
will outrange the Valiant.
There's something else.
Remember, it dies pretty fast.
Oh yeah. But I'm just talking about low-level bases. If the only thing you can get is one weapon or something, I don't know. Anyway.
Right.
Just people use odd random things in their bases. So, because this one here, look, you also get a good bit of spread, -40. I like it when it brings it in. What was the weapon again? Hang on. So the weapon spread was 125. Pretty broad, isn't it? Yeah, too much, far too much. You want to be in the sort of 80s and that sort of stuff if you can get away with it. So to be honest, so 125 is far too much. Let's bring it right in. So this already takes 40% off that, which is quite nice. And ups your splash, which I love. Like that, massive amount of extra boost on damage, isn't it? 91%.
Yeah,
that's obviously
and it's good for people to go check other builds they may have using the old narrow firing aperture, because this special beats narrow firing aperture in every stat. I mean, it has the same 3 stats, and it improves over NFA on all of them. So if you have any odd chips out there that you still use, Conqueror defenders that use NFA, I mean, see if they can benefit from this guy.
Only 15%
will be compatible with the same specials, but pretty interesting. And notice that these numbers are at rank 15, so meaning this guy is affected by the retrofit lab. So if you don't have NFA ranked up to 15, probably you won't have this guy at 15 either, so you have to work that on the retrofit lab. Yeah,
and in the retrofit lab, it's only the corrosive damage that goes up. The rest of it's a standard stat block, so you shouldn't have to worry about the splash changing that stuff. And is it narrow firing aperture that only has 50% splash? Is it?
Something like that, 50%, yes.
Yeah, so as you were saying there, if you've chucked it even like your sloths, if you're using the narrow firing aperture on there, then you can chuck this on instead and just take abuse of the splash bonus of another 15% on top of what you've already had. So yeah, good idea, Ren. That's a lovely little special. I like it. Here we go. Right, so we've got 3 turrets now that obviously or 3 different turret types, okay. And as it says there, right at the bottom on the third little bit there, duplicate bonus group 8 cap is there. So it is 8, as Ren has said. This is the long range one. There's 3. There's a long range, mid range, and a short range sort of stuff. So this is the long range one. Interesting, the picture, you know, a stack of projectiles. However, the salvo is only 2. Which I thought was quite funny. I don't know. But hey. So reasonable reload time is 7. You can probably bring that down, to be honest. Bit like the Epic Cat Morts, whilst the range is quite good at 278, and obviously you can extend that a little bit, but the inner range is 115. So once they get in close, then obviously this is not going to fire. Anything to add that you've noticed, Ren?
Just for people who don't know, DOT means damage over time. So when you get that red corrosive symbol pulsating near your ship, you're taking damage for, in this case, 45 seconds. But the maximum damage from DOT, it's lower than the nominal damage, and it's the first time I've seen that, and it doesn't make any sense. It's usually always being the other way around. I mean, you know, like one shot hits you, you're going to take 540, but then if the shots can stack, then you take something more, up to a limit. This one has a limit below the damage from one shot, and that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm supposing this is bugged. I don't know if there's any Kickside mod on the YouTube chat or whatever who could confirm they heard anything about it, but that's just weird.
Yeah, it is interesting because on the corresponding side of that, when we flip to the next one, it's as you'd expect it to be. So this is the Adder 2, basically. This is the mid-range turret. You know, the damage there, you know, the maximum damage, you know, the 719, that's great. But the dot damage, which is the thing, as you've said there, 400, and then the max damage is 800. That makes sense. You know.
Is it the time? Because the other one, isn't the other one 45 seconds?
So this one's dot duration 10. So yeah, so you get the dot damage and it'll burn up to 800k. That's what I've got.
In 10 seconds. But the other one, see, isn't it 45 seconds?
But then the max damage would be, you know, a limited initial damage should be 60, and then the max damage should be 540 over a 45-second burn. Would it not be?
Yeah.
It's like Ren said, that it seems like the numbers are flipped
backwards,
upside down.
Yeah.
I don't know. So bear in mind, these are splash-based weapons. They're not accuracy-based weapons because, you know, they are, or they should be.
Oh, this one does have accuracy of
This
85.
one has accuracy, whereas the next one is splash. Sorry. So yeah, so this one obviously you want to get your projectile speeds up and that sort of stuff.
And just so, I mean, I would not be surprised if the Death Scythe can be countermeasured because it's a missile. Despite doing only corrosive damage, it's a missile, and missiles usually can be countermeasured.
Unless it's like some funky, you know.
Again, it's a missile, it has accuracy. So by the missile mechanic, it should be countermeasurable.
Countermeasures, evade, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okie dokie. Yeah, so so this one here has got a multi-shot, and Ben was just saying, can you explain, you know, explain multi-shot and that sort of stuff. So there are specials that you can add to this one, which will add to the multi-shot. So if the damage comes out once, multi-shot doesn't work like, you know, projectiles. It doesn't, you know, you can add damage by multi-shot, whereas you can't really do a great deal. So Daniel's saying I've got a PM. Well, I'll see what it is in a second. Do you want to just go through this quickly, and I'll look at that PM and see what it is in case it's relevant, something's updated. Let me have a quick look.
All right, so this one's got a very high submerged damage, which I kind of like. Looking at the DOT on this one, the initial burst is 400k, and the max damage on this one is 800k over the 10 seconds. It's also corrosive. What we've got here, we've got a field fire chance of 10% that lasts for about 7 cents, and the range on this is only the 30.
Yeah, this is the mid-range turret, right? And being multi-shot, the only difference, and everyone should be aware of that, is there are some turret specials that will increase the multi-shot. So just looking at the base number there, 790 divided by 5 shots, it's 158,000 damage per shot. So if you get a special that adds 3 to the multi-shot, you don't divide the damage by more shots. The damage per shot remains constant at 158. You're just now having, let's say, 8 pellets instead of 5 because you put a special with +3 multi-shot. So it's different than salvo. Salvo, the more salvos you have, the more you divide the total damage. Multi-shot, once you divide the original base statistic in the turret, if you add more multi-shots, you're just adding more total damage and keeping the damage per shot stable. So it's great.
Yeah. And this one, I like the slowdown on the combat speed as well. And it's also pretty high range at 190.
And there's no zero range as well. So right up till they get to your island, you're sorted.
Yeah, this will help slow down attackers, right? I mean, -35 combat speed, slower reload, lower turn speed. And the cool thing is the duplicate aura cap is 5. So in theory, if an unfortunate attacker were to be trying to get through 5 of those auras, each aura is taking 35% of your combat speed, of whatever's left. So use simple numbers. If your combat speed is 100, the first aura takes 35, so now you're at 65. The second aura will take 35 of the 65. The third aura will take 35 of what's left, and so on. You're going to be crawling. The good thing is it only lasts for 7 seconds.
But it's nice. It's splash based. The reload time, which is nice, which is 5 and that sort of stuff. There's some good stuff. And as you said, mate, there are a couple of really good turret specials. One with a great amount of splash and damage boost, and the other one does extra multi-shot. So there are a couple. If you've got them,
sorry, go ahead, Tyson.
I'm just saying, mate. If you've got them, it's going to be a lovely add to someone's island with this one.
You absolutely want some of these turrets in your base to slow down the attackers and give everything else in your base more time to kill, right? And for the attackers, what they're going to need are those black and green specials that have tactical field resistance. That's what you're going to need to suffer less from those fields.
Yeah, so Daniel was just saying, so I've just read his message. He said, basically, going back to the previous turret, this one here, he said it might be that it's the 540k damage over 45 seconds, so 540 split by 45 equals 12k. It could be that. So one pellet would do 12k DPS for 45 seconds, giving you up to the 540, potentially. Don't know if that's okay or not. He said it can be delivered in a different method. So I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, go back to this. So that's the mid-range turret. Okay, I like that one, to be honest. It's good to go on the island. It's got great range, and as you said, as people come in your channel, it's going to slow them down and obviously burn away at them with the dot damage at the same time. So nice all round. A good splash-based weapon that's going to, do area effect damage as well as slow them down. Like it. This little beastie. So here we go. So this is the short range turret. This one looks quite squarey, but it's not too bad once you break down the math on it. However, it's got a huge projectile speed. It's got a reasonable splash, spreads nice and narrow as you'd like to expect. The range. So this is the one. Memory. Obviously, most of them are 105 anyway. So the ship that it's countering can actually outrange this turret. So just bear that in mind. But the damage, over the multi-shot of 10 is, 3.6 million. So, 362,944, for one shot.
And just to do a quick math, I mean, it's 362. Oh, you have it there. You're awesome.
I've got it, mate. Yeah. So, and this is that slide I was going to tell about, mate. So from the top to the bottom, you're the math man. I'm not. I grabbed that literally, and I was given that by someone that does the maths and not me. But a couple of things that we won't talk about. So fire support for a start. Obviously, fire support came out before obviously Corrosive did in the game. So unlike the crew that we know, like Steelheads, where actually it helps with Corrosive, fire support 2 doesn't. So don't get any boost whatsoever. Okay, so there is no benefit from adding in that percentage of doing 5 fire supports and that sort of stuff. So that's why this turret, although it looks really, really scary, it actually isn't as bad as what you'd think. Okay. So the fire support is not going to assist this one here. So you can put them as standalone turrets. That's the nice thing. They do what they do. Simple as. You just got to use the turret specials. The one at the top there, which I got from Venom actually, because he found it on the forum. So Templar mentioned before when we had this problem with the first outer turret that corrosive deflection will mitigate some dots. So just bear that in mind. Okay. So corrosive deflection on your ship mitigates the corrosive dot effect. That was discovered by accident, I believe. And then I'll leave the rest to Ren, damage, because he's the damage man. Do you want to talk about the math, mate? Or are you quite happy?
Oh, he just stepped away for a second.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so anyway, so if you're going back to the turret, you can see there that obviously the multi-shot's 10, and the damage there is obviously 3.629 million. Okay, so if you just split that down as to one pellet, okay, on the multi-shot there, that makes it 362,944. And then the possible additions you can add to that, so you can times it by one, but I'm not going to tell you which ones they are, but you can times it by one bonus effect, and then which is the 1.35, and there's another thing you can add, which will times it again by 1.5. There's another item you can add by the 1.2, and then there's a special you can add on to the turret, which will give you +3 on the multi-shot, which is the last one you want to do. Which means the total damage you can get per shot is 2.645 million. So that's the figure for your deflection. If you got over that on your hull of deflection, then it's just going to do minimum bypass. That's all it's going to do. Crazy maths, but hey. Does that make sense, Robin?
Yep.
Hope so. But that's why I put it on the slide. The slides will be there for you later on. And I'm sure Ren will do another video because he's good at those. But yeah. I'm not the maths man, okay, but I do understand that equation. So they're all bracketed and that sort of stuff, but it's the bulk figure, okay, so it's one single shot. Then you add on the specials that you possibly can, and then you add the multi-shot at the end, and there is one that does 3 as well, and then that gives you the total capability. So that is it.
And just to touch on, you had mentioned it really quickly with the fire support of placement of turrets. These can go on the water. You know, you can pop these on the water. You can put these towards, closer to the front of your base. I know everybody is experiencing, getting to the point where they're experiencing power issues, as in available power, as well as how do I get all of my fire support twos to cover all of my turrets. So these are ones that you can actually pull away from your OP to where they don't have to be covered by it.
Yes, very much so. Sorry, yeah, exactly. I was just reading some of the sideline chat there. Yeah, so yeah, I like that. And you know, it's like sometimes when you get a group of 5, and then all of a sudden your island's a little bit bigger, and you get the odd couple of turrets that are stuck out on the wing. They might be covered by a little bit of defense, but actually the fire support isn't really covering those turrets because it just happened to be covering the ones inside around the group of 5. So a little bit like the what's the railgun? Harpoon 2 or whatever it's called, I can't remember to be honest, but one of them, it's there to knock off the sloths if people haven't got them armored up. So so anyway,
Javelin 2.
Javelin 2, sorry, that's it. Yeah, Javelin, not Harpoon. Javelin 2, yeah, it's good at popping off sloths. But the range of it, I like it. Put one at the top of your base, one at the bottom of your base.
One at the bottom, yeah, I like that.
Just annoys people.
Yep.
And I think that's what the Scythe is there for, to be honest, is the sort of thing. It does a couple of shots, and if you aren't careful, you're going to get caught out. But yeah, right. So that's the 3 turrets, and that's just a little bit of something about thinking about corrosive, because it is the newest addition to the game of damage types, and people are a little bit like there is other math out there for different turrets and different additions and specials, but that's an example for damage. So just and how it's calculated. Right. Prize lists. We're not going to go through them all. We do have them on here, and we will definitely kick the the prize list to you. But a couple of updates were done as well after the initial list was out. So if you haven't noticed it, the Warden, okay, after our requests, that's your request as well, not just ours. The Warden has now had its repair time reduced to 30 minutes.
Yay!
So that's good. Okay, we like that. That's going to be brilliant for Bounty. Okay. Which is good news, but also for this raid as well, the Onslaught's been put in, so that's an addition because it wasn't there before, and you can have up to 5 of those, and so has the Missile Storm Cruise as well, and at 5 mil a pop, I don't think that's horrendous. I don't really think that many people are driving 5 of anything. I've never seen 5 of one hull ever.
I have 5 Preds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. My fleet's all mixed up with a couple of onslaughts, a couple of MSCs, and maybe an impact cruiler or an Ifrit, and the bus and a couple of sloths.
It's
I
like
mix and match with my fleets. Maybe that's why I'm rubbish at hitting pieces.
Mutt fleet, but yes, I still have my Preds, but yeah, and it's actually interesting because you can have about like one of everything. And I was out getting ally points the other night, and then go into the base, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to send this one in first, or I'm going to send this one in first. And so yes, there's a lot of different things that you can use, and obviously you can't get into every base, but taking just a minute to look at what's there and then sending what you think will work better forward quicker, and that's going to just continue with the new turrets.
Because it's almost a bit like the 7 deadly sins concept but the problem is obviously if you lose one, it doesn't take it away from the other ship. But where you bring one ship in to do something, another ship in to do something, these have got very specific damage types and protection types, for deflections. So whilst you can boost them, certain turrets are annoying to certain hulls, and you sort of change which is the lead ship and that sort of stuff as you kill things, as you progress, sort of stuff. And in chat there it said, the people that are blasting in with blitzing crews to try to get minimum amount of turret damage but maximum amount of ship damage as they go in. Just the cruises, I've seen those been 5 of those, 4 or 5 of those. I've seen them work very well. So, but I've also seen it with onslaughts as well. People can do some crazy stuff for those. So yeah, good stuff. Right, so that's it. The Manticore flagship, by the way, initially it said there was 2. You can't have 2, it's just 1. So if you've already got 1, then pass it by. You're not going to be able to do a second complete fleet and a second flagship. So, yep,
and just a point that for those that are missing Howie 6s, they've got those in there as well. So obviously you're limited to 4 total, but if you don't have all of those and you are able to get the points, you can get those, and they're the same price as the new ones as well.
Yeah, Van's got a good point there. I have no idea why the flagship is still 30 million. I think that should have been dropped down to 15 myself. I think that's complete, because anyway, we're sort of virtually at the end of the cycle. I think that's quite a lot, to be honest. But yeah, and yeah, wildfire throws are still 12 million. Some of this stuff is quite expensive. They're obviously expecting people to be able to find the flat, the tier 8, with the bonuses quite easy. But let's find out tomorrow. We'll know this time tomorrow easily. But yeah, Howie they're still a good turret. When I'm talking about turrets and that sort of stuff, obviously don't forget to switch across your faction in your base as well, because if you are going to go to the new turrets, then you'll need to consider that as well. And really frustrating if you want to change it before your time, rather than a countdown timer, it's just 150 coins to change it. If you do that, I think you're a bit mental in the head, but some people do it. So I certainly don't. I wait my time. It's once a month or something, isn't it? I think it is. You can do it.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
Well, free every 30 days.
Free, yeah, free every 30 days. It's a bit like porting out of a world and going to another world. You've got to pay for that as well. So yeah, you should be able to stack up some sort of bonus token to get that. But unfortunately, that's another way of trying to get some money out of you. But not to worry. Right, okie dokie. So those are the updates so far. What else we got in here? Nothing.
Okay. There is
another update. There's one more update, but it's a bit later on.
No, but there was a couple that wanted to touch on. Oh, Roaring Barrel system is in here. If you have not been able to get that,
you missed it. Yeah, that's a good one to have. Yeah.
The Panthera Scattergun is also in there. The Darkwing CIC is also in there, and it's only 7.5 mil. Now you don't need 5 of those for your fleet. I think people are running 3 on scatters and 2 on missile fleets, because there is a cap. So if you don't have the Darkwing and you are able to get some points, the Darkwing will stagger your fleet. If you've got different speeds and that kind of stuff, it will make them work as one. So even 1 will help.
Yeah, it's an absolute godsend. And then you can go out and use your your Grease Monkey crews and whatever it is crews that make when you get damaged they start spreading and splitting, and then this will bring it all back in line. It makes it life a lot easier. So I do like that CIC. I have to say it's really, really good.
Yeah, that's a big one. So I was very glad to see that in there, and it's not locked.
No, and nothing stopped. I'm not overly you know, a massive person for saying go and get all the predators and all the cheaters and that sort of stuff, because you once you get used to driving how fast your fleet goes, you get used to driving how fast your fleet goes, so you don't get any extra damage from the darn things. If you want to flip a few in there and just make things a little bit quicker, great. But you need to have at least 5 of one. You can't just have 1 or 2, you know, because it's a waste of time.
Yes.
So if you go in groups of 5, or you know, if your Darkwing CIC ship is that much faster than the other ones, and you can possibly speed up your other ones, which will make the whole fleet go quicker. But you know, I wouldn't rush out to get those. You know, I mean, if you happen to have them, great, but it's not a must do, to be honest. If anything, I put Predator missiles. You know, and I'm really keep pushing it. The Phoenixes are great when you put, you know, the newer missiles on them. They absolutely smash out loads of these TLCs. So you know, yep. I quite like that missile, to be honest. I've put them on my my Phoenixes and not even bothered. Well, I haven't even built missile mantis at all, so I don't intend to.
I put 1 on each, but that was basically filling up because I was like 8 hours short and I wasn't going to burn tokens. So,
I mean, that's just me. I don't see the point of chasing after those. Yes, sometimes it helps with the people with the you know, the scatter fleets, because you can chase down ships quicker and that sort of stuff. But I just go and interrupt them, annoy them, and get them all to come and attack me, and then I'll just turn around and blast them all. Yeah,
and this was the where we were talking about the optional escalation, not required. So this is not a case of that you're not going to be able to do the raid if you don't have these newer toys on there. So yeah, you absolutely do not have to have these.
Yep, cool. So that was that one. What else we got here? Stinger, brilliant little thing, and it's probably the only real missile you want to get if you haven't got it ready, to be honest. Skyfire carrier's in there, but then again, that TLC's there, so you don't really need to spend 1 million points if you've got IS breakers. Then go and get it for nothing. So, and the target tree's in there, and although it's not expensive and that sort of stuff, I suppose you could, you know, struggle and get through some stuff, but. If you haven't got Skyfires and UAVs, I couldn't see how you'd actually be hitting targets anywhere unless you've got Apollos and doing the real number 40s, I suppose.
Yeah. They do have the flag in there, though, which I don't think is in the TLC, unless I missed it. That's 1.8, so if you don't already have that one, and you have the other Skyfires, that's a good buy for Titanium. Yeah.
Was it in the TLC? It wasn't, was it?
I don't remember seeing
We'll have to flip back to that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, there's some smaller level stuff, and then it goes on to a crazy slide. So this is all the other things. So we've got some Protoss insurance stuff. That's the first time we've seen that in, which is nice, you know, which is interesting because it's not PvP, but hell, you know, particle cannons and that sort of stuff. So they have chucked in some other stuff as well. It's not new content, but there is extra content. So it's a bit of a text or raidy type thing, isn't it? It's not just PvP. It's
banging my head against the wall at the cost of the dragon.
Yeah.
It's in the FM, and they've got it in here for 15 million points.
It was only in the FM. Yeah, it's in the FM. Maybe they're saying it's easier to get these points. I don't find that, to be honest. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Greta. It was 8 million, wasn't it, in the FM?
9 million in the FM, and
that's what we're 40.
Get it if you can, because it probably will be 40. But I'm not understanding the logic.
Well, I know there's no correlation in points exactly, is there, across the board, and you get, but it's about the same amount of time to do it compared to the FM to doing this and that sort of stuff. Yes, you get bigger points, like, you know, for doing the top tiers, but if you're still struggling to get that, you're probably not doing the top tiers. So you know,
I'd like to see those reduced, but you know, it is what it is.
You know, getting your FM fleet, as we've always said, and everyone says it, you know, is the priority. So if all you get out of this raid is the FM fleet, then, you know, stuff PvP and get your FM fleet sorted out, because there are plenty of tokens coming as well.
If you want to compare apples to apples, it's 40 million. You get 5 million per top set, right? Bonus.
Yeah.
Plus 5 million from the target. So it's 4 top sets.
Yeah, but if you haven't got it,
104, 106, then it's somewhere like 16, 17 targets.
Yeah, because you're probably hitting tier 6.
Just to compare, if you were in FM, the top target pays 600,000, which probably you won't be doing, but just to compare apples to apples. Then we were talking 9 million points. We were talking 15 targets. So, you know, in the end, I think in terms of work, it's all the same. But here you're running at half repair, so I don't know if that makes it any better.
I just don't see the people needing this ship probably having a top tier Manticore set.
No, but in the raid, someone can prep for you, and you get the bonus.
Yeah, true. No, that's another way of looking at
In
it. too.
FM, there's no tier completion bonus, so you have to grind it on your own, pretty much.
Mm. No,
Yep.
that's a valid point. Yeah, someone can gift it to you. It's only 8, isn't it? So to get 8 sets. It's not the end of the world, is it? Because they still get their points for doing all the damage to the turret. That's what I like about that thing is they can prep it out, get all the points, and then and then you just get the bonus. So everyone's a winner. Right. This is the one with the last update. Obviously, tactical focus. It was 1 of 1, and now it's back to 1 of 5. So you can claim up to 5 of these. You can have a max quantity of 5, which we've all asked for more than that.
Oh God, would they please? We've got what 6
5
ships
is not
now
enough.
that use it, and you've got a limit of 5, and you're supposed to take it off of one ship and move it to another one. This needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and it takes too long to take the darn things off as well. It's really annoying. Because you do want to switch out this hole to that hole, or just give us more of the darn things. Okay, claim only 5 in this raid. I get that, but you should be able to hold in your base 15 or 20 of the darn things.
Yeah, with the number of conquerors we have right now, I mean, if you add up all the tier 7 tactical modules, like this one, the fire extinguisher, the drone, the EMP, you probably, if you were to build all defenders and conquerors you wouldn't have enough modules to fit them all.
Well, you don't. I mean, we got Onslaught, Warden, Ifrit, the ballistic hull,
Impact cruiser,
impact cruiser,
now the witch doctor, then the 2 flagship,
witch doctor. Yeah, it's
It's
you're
crazy,
already
isn't
at
it?
the
20.
curator.
So yeah.
This
Please,
witch
Pix,
doctor
can
hasn't
we
got anything.
increase
So
that?
there's nothing come out with this witch doctor apart from the stuff that's already been out already. So there's no new one. Yeah. Anyway, right, and then on to I think we've got like a gazillion.
Ooh, I did want to say I was I'm sorry, I was just going to say I was happy to see the explosive scope and the penetrative scope in here.
Yeah, get them, especially the explosive one.
Other than the tactical focus, are they offering any other module this raid? I didn't find them on the list.
I didn't see anything at all. The EMP one, I didn't see that. It's just
the drone is in FM, right? So
yeah, I just saw this one here, so that was it. And that was when they upped. I saw the upped from 1 because I actually missed it initially because it was 1 of 1. I was really surprised, and it wasn't until I got sent the update to say that it's actually up to 5 that I even realized it was in the prize list because it was so far down. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to tokens, there are hodds of tokens, okay? And nicely, these new turrets that have come out, if you are in that position where you don't really need much else from this raid, because you've got most of the PvP stuff, then on top of your 215 million, isn't it, Robin? You can also get all these tokens as well at 28 million each.
Well, the other thing that we don't know is what is the build time on these new ones?
Normally it seems to be about 14 days. And I did see a thing on our page that if you're really thinking about planning on doing this now, get there and get those base parts and start ripping off the content of the turrets that you've already got the specials for this stuff. Well, one special at least anyway, to use for some of these turrets. So you can start stripping some turrets down if you want to. And if you're able to, change your faction if you want to as well. And then you're going to save yourself a lot of time, But these are 7-day tokens. The ones that we had offered up for the the blunders and that sort of stuff, and the javs the other day, they helped out a lot. And I managed to do 3 or 4 turrets for free, basically, using these 7-day build token things. So I was quite pleased, to be honest. I think 1 token ends up being 1 turret or something along those lines. But anyway, it's a shame they're not generic. But so you've got to use the set turret for set 1. So you might want to plan ahead on what turrets you want to put in your base first for the first time round, and then go and get those tokens to start with. And then if you can get the other ones, great, no problem at all. But anyway,
that alone, there, just those tokens. People planning on getting them all. That's I think already over 400 million points in raid.
Yeah, I looked at 620 something million if you want to get all the new stuff and the tokens to go with it.
Ugh.
Yeah, which I won't be doing, I can promise you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a life, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just,
but
this is a greedy man's raid as far as I'm concerned, There are plenty of options there, and you can get nothing or a little bit or, just the phoenixes but, as you were saying there, Robin, that TLC, do the TLC, get the items, and there's even more build tokens here as well for phoenixes and skyfires and all that sort of stuff. So, and the XP tokens.
Yeah, and the Manticore flag tokens. You can use you can't use regular Manticore tokens on the flagship. So if you get the opportunity, instead of getting the regular ones, get the Makaras if you still haven't built that.
Yeah, because there's 10 there, which is nice. So
Yep.
That's a nice thing to have, and that's in addition to the obviously we have to stack up. What is it? Is it 5 3-day tokens and 10 1-day tokens for the Manti, and obviously then you can now stack up another 10 for the flagship as well. So that'll help you. As you said, you can't use one for the other; it doesn't work. So that's good. And then the last one is obviously this one here. There's more, Onslaught build token. These are the ones I'm more interested in, is obviously because we're going to have to do some refits probably. So Onslaught build token, Missile Storm Cruiser tokens. Yeah, if you want to change your sloths around, there's some stuff there for sloths and that sort of stuff. Nice to see some Proto Tideseeker build tokens for a change.
Yes, very happy to see that.
Yeah, and some Warden ones as well. So some of this stuff is really nice to see.
But they don't have the Proto. This is the second right now. No Proto Centurion ones.
I don't get that. I don't get that. They're really pushing the Proto Tide, but they're not really seem to be keen on pushing the Proto Centurion. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure that base part slide's quite right at the bottom there. So base parts 1, 2, and 3. That's the 2 different levels you can get. But I'm not sure the numbers is right because you can do claim 10, claim 20, and then claim 10. So I think we've got an extra 10, 20, and 20, 20 in there for some reason. I'm not sure what that is. I'll dress that up before we.
You know what? I bet you that converted that to a date and I didn't catch it.
Oh, it did, didn't it? Yeah, it's 10, 20, 10. It's 10, 20, 10. That's how many times you can claim it. And then it's 5, 10, and then 5. That's what it is.
Yep.
So level 1, which is give you the, let's just say uranium at the bottle. So if it's level 1 you're going for, it's giving you the 2,850,000, and you can claim that up to 5 times. That's the way it works. But I'll tidy it up a little bit before we put the slides out, just to make sure. That's that. Apart from all I was going to quickly say, apart from until we go to the bug fixing and tuning, was obviously there are plenty of raid calculators out there from our obviously Forsaken Council website. One of our admins obviously does the Ahoy Mahati's webpage, and his calculator's up to date. He's got the latest adjustments on there because obviously the Manticore's gone down to 1. He's obviously increased in the Onslaught as well and put in obviously the Missile Storm Cruiser. So nice simple little calculator as well. You literally just put in what you like. And as an example, then I've obviously put in I want 4 of one turret, but I only want 2 of this and 2 of that sort of stuff. It gives you my total scary figure of 155 gazillion points. So just out of interest, I guess. So that was a rough example of getting some of the new stuff, and some of the turrets. That's a sort of a ballpark figure if you didn't want to go into the token area and that sort of thing. So, which is a bit on par with, you don't have to get everything, but it's just give you a rough idea.
Yeah, that's a key point too. You don't have to get everything.
Nope.
So get what, and you have to balance your wants versus needs as well. You want to make sure your FM's focused, before you start spending money on, 15 million points for a turret. Think about what's going to help you in the long run in the game.
Yes. Especially on PvP, because there's nothing worse than PvP going, oh, I want to do, and then you get really frustrated. Go, oh, I wish I had that, like I didn't. There is a set special in the game at the moment that's not in this raid, which I know a couple of people are kicking themselves and they really want to see it. So if it's not in this raid, then we'll try and ask to see if we can get it put in bounty, because it will help a few people out. Shan't say what it is just yet, but I know one of our TFC admins is a bit miffed. It's not available, surprise. Righty-ho. So we're finished on raiding stuff as far as I'm concerned. Unless you've got anything to add, Ren. Anything you want to add, mate?
No, just want to reinforce that people only need 8 corrosive turrets, and I would privilege the medium and short range turrets over the long range turrets. So I would get 2 long range, 4 mid range, and then 2 short, or the other way around, but 2 long range. I don't see the need for more of that than that. And again, need versus wants. I know people want to get all 12. I'm just talking needs.
Yeah. I mean, I have 2 lists. I always have that. I need, and then I'd like to have, and then other stuff. Stocking fillers, as I call them.
And all those tokens that are 28 million each. I mean, just remember, if you can score the points to get those tokens because they're very expensive, you can always, after raid, go and get base parts on map and get stuff done in base parts.
Yeah, and oh, speaking of base parts, resources and stuff, if you need to start off your expedition early so that halfway through the raid you've got uranium coming back in.
Oh, yeah, good point. I just keep forgetting those expeditions. I never seem to
Fill
remember
up
them.
now, and then, you know, like she
Yeah,
said,
I'm
before
stacked on
the
everything.
raid,
I've
you
told my
start it.
guys, stack up on everything now. Yeah, and like you say, start the expedition. You can burn off some of the stuff, and if you end up wasting it, then so what? At least you've started it. Get those old fleets out. Right, last slide. Well, I'll just have a quick look at a PM. Does somebody want to just take that one, if you wouldn't mind?
Bug fixes. Yeah, this one kind of threw me for a bit. Time to retrofit is now additive when there are more of the same hulls in the dock inventory.
If you remember, like when you refit a hull in the retro lab, the time varies based on how many of that particular hull you've got built.
Oh, okay.
So usually you see a message like time to retrofit 4 prides. But if you were to have only 1 pride, that time is shorter. So I don't know if making that time additive is good or it's better or worse, because I would have to have the comparison before after. But I know what it means. Somehow they changed the calculation of the extra time correlated to how many holes you have built.
Well, I'm hopeful that it got shorter. Okay, Titanium Expedition can now be completed. I believe there were some bugs with that. They have also tweaked a memory leak and have done some memory leak improvements involving battle replays.
We'll see.
They adjusted the Greta Inferno Dragon appearing too large on the world map, so that's now been shrunk. And they have done some minor bug fixes and performance improvements, which they never tell us about. So
It rips me, that one. Yeah, I'd rather just didn't do it. Just don't add that in anymore.
It just, yeah, take it out because it just knocks me off my radar. But yes.
Just, yeah, minor bug fixes. What? So small that we don't care about it? Or, you know, just don't.
Probably so technical that most people wouldn't understand. Because if these are related to performance improvements, they are coding things you do to prevent the game from leaking memory, from using too much CPU, from using too much bandwidth, some data compression kind of stuff. If that's what it is, if performance improvements would lead me to believe that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's just too technical for most people to care about. All you care about is like, is the game running better on my rig?
I think I'll reword that next time then. Minor bug fixes that you lot didn't care about. There you go. Or notice.
Yeah, minor bug fixes we thought you guys are too dumb to understand.
Oh, meow.
And then you find the one thing that did kind of get broken and it affects like 1 out of 5 players.
Oh, God. And that's it for slides. So we'll stop those, get rid of those, and turn that off. Right. And we've hit the hour just after it, so not too bad, to be honest. Anything out of the update that you want to cover, Robin?
No, we'll just put our usual 2 threads up on the page, the Help the Players thread for you to post your videos for those of you that do that, and we are always thankful for that. And then we will also put the, oh my God, I can't stand it, the raid's too hard thread up as well, where you can...
Which is the fun one.
Which is the fun one where you can vent your angst. But both of those will be up tomorrow morning. So as per usual. I think that was all I had.
Yeah. Ren, anything, mate?
No. All good. 5-day raid. People who don't do PvP only do PvE. You know, great chance to catch up. People who care about PvP have to work their asses off to get new stuff. And I think even people who say they don't PvP, that means usually they don't attack bases, but they care about defending. If so,
yeah,
go get the turrets.
Yeah, that's my first goal. That's what I'm doing. I like doing defending. Yeah. I'm not
get turrets.
Turrets are fun because you can, you know, you can even if you get flattened, you can still go in your base plan and mess around for a bit. So there's always something to do. So that's what I quite like doing.
I'd say everyone should look at 120 million points if possible. Everyone who can, of course, to get 8 turrets. If you care about base defense, you know, and if you don't have bigger PvE priorities. But like, I'd get the Greta Inferno first. I'd get some other stuff first.
Yeah. There is. I'm pleased to see there's some stuff in there for not new, but there is some PvE stuff in there as well, because there's some nice stuff there to help people out on their FM stuff, and also some stuff to finish off the mantis as well, and the low level stuff. So there's a bit of something for everything, so everyone likes. So quite like it, to be honest. yeah, that's it. Got nothing else. I will be doing, like I said, you know, a first look at some targets, that sort of stuff, as I did last month. Just to snapshot, see what these two new top level tier 8 ones look like and that sort of stuff. Because I'm in alpha, and like I said, you know, unfortunately, Price doesn't do it anymore, so I'll have a stab at that for as long as I can put up doing it. I don't see anybody else doing it at the moment, so I noticed it was missing for a couple of months. So have a little look. I'll put a link up, and then if you want to come in and have a chat and that sort of stuff, then the live chat is up there as well. So you can come and complain to me about how hard the raid is as well, which is always good fun. That leaves it for tonight, I think. Thanks, Robin, for coming on.
No, thank you.
Thanks, Ren. We delayed it a day because I know it was your birthday yesterday, mate. So
thanks for the consideration. Much appreciated.
Glad you had a good day.
I hope everyone can enjoy a beautiful evening.
I hope so too. Although it's just hit midnight here, so I won't be enjoying much more because I've got to work in the morning. Okay, thanks all in chat for joining in, and all those, yeah, good numbers tonight. Thank you very much. But then it's a raid week. What do we expect? It's always going to be good numbers on a raid week because people want to know what the heck's going on. Take it easy and have a good raid, and we'll speak to you at the weekend. Take care.